Welcome to an episode of You Haven't Read What? I'm Krista.
And I'm Christina. Join us to explore unique genres, childhood favorites, and literary classics as we dive into each other's favorite reads.
Where one of us is very familiar with the book, the other is reading for the very first time. Let's go. We're recording.
Yes.
Everything's
Hello.
recording, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got all the buttons, I believe. So our tech, Bob, my husband, he ain't here right now. So, because we're doing this during the day.
We're running solo.
I know.
Without support. God
Gotta
help
make
us.
sure everything's on. So hopefully it is. Oh, we should do this one just in case.
Okay, backup recording now on too.
Yeah, I think there's like redundant and redundancy even more. So
It's
whatever.
us, so that's probably a good thing.
Right?
It's like sitting way far away from you.
It's all good. You just don't want to play footsie with me today?
You're the one who changed the desk so we don't face each other.
That is true.
Not me.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but whatever. I kind of dig this setup because now we have an actual wall of things
Yes.
and books and
Awesome.
stuff. So, you know.
Good times.
Yeah. So, very last 2 chapters.
Woo!
Woo.
Of the third one, we finished our third book
I know. I'm so excited.
since this became an idea 6 months ago.
I know.
Like, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm proud of us.
Yeah, I know,
Yay!
right? Woo. But yeah,
So, yeah. Let's just dive on into it because I got a lot of notes.
I uncharacteristically don't.
Ooh.
I only have a page in like maybe 2/3. I
have 2 pretty full pages.
I mean, so on my Kindle, it said that chapter 21 was going to be like 58 minutes of read time for me. And I just was like, okay, that's a lot. So I was expecting it to
Yeah.
like have a lot of information and I just didn't feel like it. So
In fairness, okay, we'll get into it. First of all,
Last
last
week.
time we did, so we're on Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban. We
Mm-hmm.
did chapters 19 and 20, Servant of Lord Voldemort, and the Dementor's Kiss. And so this time we're doing the last 2 chapters, 21 and 22, which are Hermione's Secret and Owlpost again.
yes.
Which I pointed out, Owlpost was chapter 1.
Yes.
So it's Owlpost again. Which is kind of a cute little bookend of
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah. It gave it its own little
Yep.
like stand up bookends. So
It was nice. It was nice. So my little summary for chapter 21 was no one will listen to Harry and Hermione. Hermione can do what? She can go back in time to
Yeah.
take more classes. Okay, kid.
yeah, that's not what I would be doing.
And because he mentions it multiple times, I said, yes, Harry, it's weird
Yeah.
watching yourself.
Yep.
I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Sorry about that. Quack.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we started off. Snape's the hero because the kids were cursed.
Yeah. Yeah, I said, I was like, WTF. Snape is taking the credit. I'm like, really?
I mean, in
I mean-
everyone's eyes, he's the one who showed up to the castle
That's-
with the kids.
Yeah, I suppose.
And Lupin. No, not Lupin. And Black and
Yeah, so it
Anybody
was
else?
the 3 kids and Black that
yeah,
were all on the
'cause
stretchers.
Lupin's off
Yep, being a
doing
werewolf.
who knows what.
Yep.
And Pettigrew's gone.
Yes.
Womp womp.
Yeah, so I just was like, really? Come on, Snape. Like, I understand why he's doing it. I get it. But
It's also from his perspective, he's not wrong. Like, he's being a little overconfident. But he's not wrong.
I mean, but he had to have been in pain. Like,
yeah.
when he woke up. Come on. You can't hit your head
He
a
said,
million
"Track,
times
track,
on a
track,
tunnel.
track, track, track."
Exactly. And your shins and stuff. Like, and not have been in some sort of pain and been like, well, what happened? I was in the doorway and now I was outside. So something happened.
Don't worry. Sirius Black took care of you. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But it does say when he's talking to the minister says Order of Merlin, second class. I'd say first if I can wrangle it. Dumbledore's first class, Order of Merlin. So what did
No.
Dumbledore do to deserve
Ooh.
this?
Oh,
if they
yeah.
think capturing Sirius Black was potentially worthy of it.
I didn't even think of that.
I know.
Interesting. Shut up.
You would have had more notes if you did.
Yeah, exactly.
I've just read Dumbledore's title a few more times.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so it's one of those. We'll have to wait and find out.
Yeah. Do we get that answer then? Okay, cool. I'm excited to kind of get more information about Dumbledore only because like we don't have a lot right now. We don't we know a little bit, sort of like glimpses that he gives Harry, but that's about it. But yeah, I mean, Snape definitely doesn't deserve it. Like, I get how everybody would think that, but no. Nope.
It's okay. He doesn't get it.
No, but then, like, on top of it, trying to make it sound like the kids have so much trauma and, like, they're being, like, they've
been cursed.
Yeah.
They've been confused.
Or, like, what Lockhart did in, like, book 2 to the people. Like, erase their memory or whatever.
Memories.
Yeah. So, like, he's making it sound like all of that, but that's not the truth.
Right. But if you tell them that they've been, confunded,
Right.
confused, then who knows what the truth is? Then you can't trust the kids either.
Right. But at the same time, Snape knows what he's doing. So
yeah.
Sorry, but he's just being a butthead and nobody's listening.
I also enjoyed the minister straight calling out, well, Harry Potter, we've all got a blind spot where he's concerned. I was like, ooh, you admit it.
Right. Well, in Snape's world, like you said the last couple of times, like he was basically pushed to the side when he almost died originally. Now all of this stuff is going on and he's like, ooh, I'm like the hero. I'm this and that. And Harry is again like getting kind of away with things. And Dumbledore again is kind of like, oh, Snape, like... You know, and Fudge is kind of like, well, maybe we should listen to them and see what their thoughts are.
He does in a little bit. It takes a while.
Yeah.
We'll come full circle on that one. But I did note that on the next page when all of a sudden everybody's in the hospital wing, I wrote, there's a lot of emotions flying around this room.
Oh, for sure.
Because Pomfrey speaks angrily and hysterically. Harry speaks furiously. Snape spat and snarled. Hermione speaks earnestly, and Dumbledore is calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a lot of emotions.
Yeah. Well,
leveling out.
And not just the, what did you say for Harry?
Furious.
Furiously.
Ignore he spelled furious wrong. I tried to fix it.
He's like, he is angry, but at the same time, he's very passionate about what he's trying to say.
Yes.
And I think that, takes in the... everybody around him, just the fact that he is being as passionate as he is.
And I think had somebody listened, I think him being furious and passionate and Hermione being earnest would have kind of level set off each other nicely, telling them the story.
Right.
Instead of Harry being all, wah, and Hermione being all, well. They would have fed off each other nicely, convincing somebody.
Yep.
But nobody's listening.
Again, it's like a theme.
Yeah, and then
nobody listens.
Snape yelling it, Miss Granger, hold your tongue.
Well, because he knows he's wrong. He only does this when he knows he's... He also called her a
stupid girl a couple of pages ago.
But he knows he's wrong. He knows he's in the wrong, and yet his anger is what's feeding himself.
Yes.
And so, he is not thinking about what he is saying or doing because he is just so angry that these kids are getting such treatment as they are, and and he's angry that everybody's actually believing and doing and listening and all this stuff, but then in this way they're actually not listening this time. Nope. So it's one of those what do you do in that way?
And I think also Snape is in this moment, he's not a teacher.
Right.
I think he's not a teenager, obviously, but he's kind of fallen back to schoolboy and is getting his revenge.
Right.
He's getting his moment that he never got back then.
Yep.
And so he's kind of taking advantage of it.
Oh, for sure.
Again, emotions, I'm not right or wrong.
Right.
It's
you
just
can't blame him in some ways that he's doing this.
Yeah. And we've said this a few times, you're allowed to feel your feelings.
Right. Yep.
And he is allowed to be like, I am finally getting somebody to listen to me.
Right.
When this guy almost killed me
Yep.
a handful of years ago, and I finally have somebody listening.
Right.
Like, he's allowed to feel that way. And
Yeah.
by telling Granger to, basically shut up and that she's stupid, he is forgetting in the moment that he is a teacher.
Right.
Again, he's not a good teacher, but
I mean, and that he's an adult. Like
he's falling back.
You're throwing a tantrum.
Yep.
In a way. And while it might not be like an actual like kid style tantrum or whatever, it's still a tantrum. And he is getting his revenge, and he is getting the things that he has been trying for forever to get, like
years.
12 years. But at the same time, like, I can kind of see where he's coming from and all of those things. But the fact that Dumbledore is like, okay, everybody get out. I need to talk to them.
And that's when Snape reminds Dumbledore that Black
tried to kill him.
It's like, hey, reminder as I'm on my way out the door.
Yep.
Please don't forget.
Right. And it makes me wonder if Fudge knew that from the beginning as well. Because, like, he mentions it, like, he takes a step forward, it says, towards Dumbledore, and he says, hey, like, remember, Black tried to kill me.
Now, in fairness, he said he breathes it. So he says it fairly quietly. And at this point, Fudge is holding the door open to the hospital.
So Fudge probably doesn't even hear him as well.
Right.
Okay.
He is not, I don't know if Fudge knows if Lupin's a werewolf. I'm trying to decide right now if Fudge knows that.
Probably, well, is he on he's not in a...
Is there a registry?
I don't know.
He's not, he's not.
Because he's not...
Animagus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to think about
Interesting. We'll have to figure that one out. Or if you guys know, let us know on YouTube and all the other places.
Reread it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if Fudge doesn't know, whether or not Pomfrey knows, probably. Well, no, they said that most of the teachers knew.
Yeah.
If she counts as a teacher or not.
Yeah.
So she might have known. But like, he's not angry enough to rat him out yet.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But yeah. Okay. Then the next part that happens, he gives code words to Hermione.
Well, Harry's starting to lose some doubts, or starting to have some doubts and lose some faith. Because
he thinks that Dumbledore can help him.
Dumbledore could solve anything. Harry was used to the idea that Dumbledore could solve everything.
Yep.
Gosh, I keep bumping my mic. What am I doing today? It's because we're recording during the day. I don't know what to do with my hands. Yeah, it's always been Dumbledore swoops in and saves the day.
Right.
Or sends his bird to save the day.
His Phoenix.
In fairness, works.
Right.
But yeah, he's like, oh, you can't solve this. You can't just go up there and free Black and say, yes, this is what happened. I believe you. Have a nice day. Mm-hmm. He does not have that power.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in all fairness, there isn't a lot of evidence. Like,
There's none.
I mean, in reality, though, there's not a lot of evidence on either side.
Right.
Of him being guilty or innocent.
Uh-huh.
So, like, sorry, but, like, it was not a very well due processed court of law, if you ask me.
Right.
However, like, the
Dementors had a lot of
already
witnesses.
there.
That's about it.
Right, exactly. And so the Dementors are already there. They're already going to do their thing. But Dumbledore, like, he knows something. You can tell he knows something. Mm-hmm. And usually he knows things when he is calm. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know how he knows what's about to happen. But it's like he already knows what's about to happen.
We'll get to that more in a second. I like this realization on Hermione's part. What we need is more time. But Hermione began, then her eyes became very round. Oh, like, that took you a second.
Yeah.
Like, but what do you mean? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, he's giving Hermione all these, like, secret codes, like code words. And it's just like, we need extra time. I think 3 turns will do the trick. And, like, all of
more
these
than
things.
one
and
innocent life could be saved.
Right. I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm with Harry. Like, what is going on here? But I actually am very proud of Harry. He doesn't ask a lot of questions.
Nope.
He just goes along with it.
His only question is, good luck?
Right?
Like, what does Dumbledore mean by that?
Right?
3 turns? What is he talking about? What are we supposed to do? And she just grabs him.
Yep. And then, like, from there, like, while he wants to know what's going to happen and what the plan is and everything, he kind of just confidently goes with her and does the things. Yes.
Yeah.
Which is weird because throughout this whole book, they have been at odds.
Mm-hmm.
And so to just automatically trust her again is like, it's not a not Harry thing, because that's what he's been doing like his whole life, like since he got into Hogwarts, he's been trusting everybody.
11, yeah.
But like,
well, and in fairness, it's been Ron and Hermione at odds, and I think if he hadn't had Ron in his ear, he may have actually listened to Hermione a couple of times, but Ron never gave him the chance.
Nobody listens.
Nobody listens to anybody. They're teenagers.
Communication, people. That is the key of every release. Yeah, but not just the teenagers. The adults, too. They don't listen.
Okay, fair. Not wrong. But yeah, so I think he said like the shoulder angels between Ron and Hermione. And Ron just kind of keeps plowing over Hermione and winning.
Yeah.
And so that's why it seems more Harry and Hermione have been at odds. But it's more like Harry just hasn't been given the chance to listen to her.
Well, and not only that, but like Hermione has been super secretive. So
and now we know why.
Well, yes, now we know why. But Harry, like, even then, he still has acknowledged the fact that she has been very secretive and that there have been some weirder things going on with Hermione. So while Ron has been also speaking ill of Hermione, or more like Crookshanks,
again, rightfully so.
Right. You still get the sense that that Harry's also kind of like, well, she's also been secretive. Like, we don't know what's really going on with her and things like that.
She's clearly keeping something from us.
So I kind of see that. But now, like, we get to go back and we get to go back in time, which is cool. Against the law.
Yep.
And we find out that Professor McGonagall had to literally write tons of letters and recommendations and Dumbledore and the whole 9 yards so that she could even get this thing. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And as much as I'm like, she can trust the boys with anything, I think it says a lot of her that she kept it.
Yeah.
And she didn't tell anybody. Like, I kind of applaud her for that, because who knows what the boys would have done and talked her into. Like,
I mean,
let's go back half a turn and go get the stupid invisibility cloak that I left by the statue, please.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
that's not what it's for. This is why you get in trouble. This is why they're illegal.
Right.
Like, so probably good move on her part.
Probably. But at the same time, it would have been interesting to figure out, like, to have both parts. Like, fair. If I had told the boys what would have happened, and if I hadn't have told the boys, this is what kind of happened.
Well, okay, we're going to get to it. But you see now that Harry knows, even Harry defies her while they're out there and runs away and does things that, like, so you get a glimpse of it that he's already not listening to her. Yeah.
Well, okay. The
dangerous.
One that he totally disappears, he saved their lives. So
Still.
Yeah, well, whatever. She wasn't supposed to be there. Anyways, so we get to save Buckbeak and Sirius.
Yeah.
So
we get to save both, which is pretty cool.
Why did Hermione want to take so many classes? Like, why?
She's Hermione. She's Hermione. Like, why not?
Because
I think it's also kind of funny that I'm sure McGonagall told her this, but she can only use the time turner to go to class, and I'm sure take exams and whatever, but not to do homework, which is why she's been swamped in homework all semester.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because she hasn't been able to use it for that.
Right.
Which seems a little unfair.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit, I'd be constantly turning that thing backwards trying to finish assignments.
Right? Like, maybe you get so many turns in a day or something like that. But yeah.
Well, it's also hard if you've been sitting in the common room, for hours. Like, you got to wait till everyone goes to bed and then switch it back and then go somewhere else where you can't see yourself. So,
Oh, yeah.
like, you have to keep moving. You have to keep doing homework somewhere else before you end up in the, dungeons. Like, this is the last place available to finish this potions assignment.
Right. Yeah, I mean, true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you have next? Because
I have that having this time turner is a big responsibility because even Harry, well, first of all, Harry says, this is weird. This is the weirdest thing we've ever done. I'm like, thinking about it, I'm like, nope, yeah, fair.
I mean, it's definitely one of the weirdest things they've ever done. I mean,
Well, and also keep in mind, Hermione did not join them, the boys, in the Chamber of Secrets. She wasn't part of that.
right.
Yeah, polyjuice potion, little weird. She wasn't really joining them on that. She was stuck as a
Right.
cat. And then so first year, really going down the trap door is really the only thing that they've done,
Yeah.
which isn't.
I mean, but they did go to
weird,
the ghost
but-
party and other stuff. They've had
Okay,
a lot
fair.
of different adventures, like
That is maybe the creepiest thing they've done.
probably.
But yeah, even Harry's like, this is starting to seem impossible. And then Hermione tells him, talking about how, you have to be super careful not to see each other
Right.
because loads of wizards ends up killing their past or future selves by mistake.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
I'm like, fair. This is a big responsibility to put on a 14-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's 14.
Yes, she's 14. Like,
It is a lot. Yeah.
really, McGonagall beat it into her.
Well, not just that, but I think that like they had to prove that she was responsible enough for it. Mm-hmm. So like, it is a lot of in our today world, like as Muggles style, like what would that type of responsibility correlate to on our side?
I mean,
I mean,
that's what I
it's
thought it was.
more than a pet. It's more than schoolwork.
I mean, it's kind of driving a car.
Yeah.
There's especially how many, unfortunately, young teenagers get their driver's license and don't heed the rules of the road
Right.
and end up wrapped around a tree.
Yep.
Very sadly, like,
Yeah.
slow down, everyone. Don't drive so fast.
Right. I can see that being like about the same responsibility level in some ways.
In some ways, yeah. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you see wizards kill their past or present selves, and, well, again, lots of teenagers killed in early
Yep.
20s kill themselves every year
Yep. Because of driving
getting
and
keys
stuff.
for the first time.
Yep.
Like, ugh. Our
Yeah,
kids
I
are
can
never
see
allowed
that.
to grow up. They're going to do self-driving cars. That's it.
Yes, dear. They're gonna have buck beaks to fly on,
Yes. Sold.
or like hoverboards and things like that.
maybe.
So
We're going to come back to him. So, okay. So now they're outside the cabin. Harry's attempting to get Buckbeak to move. Mm-hmm. And just as they're coming out Hagrid's back door, Dumbledore stops and says, "Oh, one moment, please. You need to sign too."
yeah,
And stops.
Mm-hmm.
Does he know?
He knows. He knows because so Dumbledore has this, I've been saying it, he has this weird power of knowing things that are happening that either past or present with people. And so he knows. And not only that, but they've probably gone back in time because later on, he kind of makes it sound like he already knew that they were going back in time and that they were coming and stuff like that. So, I mean, in reality, to me, yeah, he already knew.
So I was kind of laughing about that I was like, either I technically speaking, at this point, he does not know that he has sent Hermione back in time. He does, however, know that Hermione has a time turner. So he could have
Right.
this in his head of like, maybe there's a chance here. Let me stall and do what I can to see if the opportunity presents itself. And if not, well, so be it.
Right.
But hopefully it does. And I have bought somebody more time.
Right. I think
turns
he
out to be
knows.
true.
I think he knows.
Does Dumbledore have his own time turner?
I mean, maybe. Or he just it's happened more than once.
I think there's rules about that.
I don't know.
Because they never talk about having more than 2 of yourselves, because then you're trying to dodge 3 of you
Oh, that's
and not
true.
be seen. And
yeah.
this turns into a super weird alternate reality.
Yeah.
Chaos.
True. Yeah.
Black
Okay.
hole.
So can I talk about the sounds and everything in the paddock?
Mm-hmm.
So when everybody comes out after Dumbledore stops them and everything, and the sound of the axe and the sound of the sobs that Harry, Hermione, and Ron heard under the cloak as they are running away aren't actually what we think they are.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. It's the axe going into the fence and the sobs of Hagrid being super excited that Buckbeak ran away. So that's
It's Hagrid just releasing emotions. He's
Right.
he's a little stress ball.
Right.
And him just releasing all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's a
so it just kind of, it's one of those like, like we thought one thing, it wasn't true. Okay, now we know the truth. Like that's one good thing about being able to go back in time and see everything that's going on creepily.
Also, how lucky is it that they didn't turn around
Right.
under the cloak? Yeah.
Yeah, because they almost did.
Yep. I was like, whoa. But it's one of those, it's like, what is it? Because I made that note that like Harry wants to run back, Hermione wants to run to the castle, or Ron wants to run to the castle and Hermione can't move, or vice versa. I may have those two backwards.
Hermione can't move. She's like frozen.
She's petrified.
Yep.
Not literally.
Because Ron's trying to keep Scabbers.
Right. Ron's trying to hold on to Scabbers and get back to the castle ASAP.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how does McNair? Sounds cheery.
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, most executioners are.
Slams his axe into the fence in anger.
Yep.
Because he doesn't get to kill something.
Yep.
And then later on, he's the one who's, they're
Sounds like a
happily
Dementor.
go gets the Dementors
Yep.
to go take out Sirius. I was like, whoo, you sound like a lovely fellow.
I mean, his house probably is covered in flowers and doilies and whatnot, so
Doilies.
whatever. It's just his job persona, not his real life.
Oh, that's hysterical. I'm picturing him like Mr. Rogers style coming in at the end of the day, putting his axe by the front door, taking off, his I don't know,
like,
dark
coat.
robes and putting
Yep.
on some bright red vest and like
Yep,
being all
exactly.
cheery, walking to the living room and sitting on this like, I don't know, checkered patterned couch.
Like, and I imagine him like being like Rock style, so like he's super buff and everything,
Yes.
like The Rock and whatnot, and then. Like he comes home to his lovely little wife who's like, 2 feet tall and super small and like got flowers and doilies everywhere. So
Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, there is also so much more to this character that makes that even funnier. Oh, damn. Okay.
I think it broke her.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to spoil this one. No surprise, somebody this bad of a, like, I'm going to kill something ends up later on in Voldemort's very inner circle.
Oh,
So now
sure.
I'm picturing Voldemort coming over to his house and seeing all of this. Or him, like, goes over to visit Voldemort wherever he's at and brings like, daisies
Like-
for him.
Or like the tea service or something.
It's even better.
My wife wanted me to bring crumpets to tea.
She brought you lemon cake.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
Man, that's funny.
can we talk about the kids coming back down to the Whomping Willow and whatnot?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I had a question. I was like,
Uh-oh.
do you think Harry and Hermione can actually feel the pain of them getting hit again by the Whomping Willow?
No, I think
No?
it's like
The residual, like,
yeah.
oh, that hurt. Oof, that hurts.
You like feel that bruise again. You're like, oh yeah, that rib's still broken. Like,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Right.
no, I don't. They don't think
Okay.
they actually feel it.
Right.
Feel it.
Feel it again. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you get the moment of like, oh yeah, shit, that hurt.
Right. And then watching it from like the point of view of being in the trees and watching Ron get drug off and his leg breaking all over again and all that, like
I don't want to watch that
that's
again.
got to be hard.
I don't want to watch that again.
And how are they keeping Buckbeak quiet?
Didn't they give him something to eat? Oh, he's digging up worms.
Yeah.
He's just a happy little boy digging up worms.
A big ol'
I mean, in fairness, they struggle to keep him quiet when Buckbeak can see Hagrid.
Right.
They struggle. But yeah, otherwise, he's hungry.
Yeah.
He's just eating worms. So like when they then see later on the kids have all gone into the Whomping Willow, and then Snape comes out and picks up the cloak, and Harry, get your filthy hands off of it.
Right.
Like, yeah. How about also don't leave it there.
And watching all of it kind of reminds me of like the coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Mm-hmm.
Like your what if.
Let's learn some lessons,
Right.
kids.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, and whatnot.
Let's not leave
Hindsight.
our cloak laying around.
I mean, this is an MO for Harry, so it's going to keep happening. So
Damn it.
It is what it is.
No.
Right? But,
So Harry thought he saw his dad.
I know.
I was like, oh.
And I even wrote that. I was like, could the figure in Patronus really be James? Because, like,
Peter?
I obviously know now, but like,
Peter Pettigrew coming back from the dead definitely put that little glimmer of like maybe in Harry's brain.
Yep.
It kind of broke him.
well, and not just that, but like, it's that, my dad came back to save me. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's the, it's just like the,
It's the dream. It's what he saw in the mirror.
the guardian angel style. Like, you know,
Yeah.
so
It's his one wish that he knows will never be fulfilled. But maybe?
right.
Like, sorry, dude.
I know. And even Hermione is like, well, you know, he's dead. Like, I'm really like, she's being so passionate and like just super
She's being so
like
kind.
Yeah, just kind with him, and just is like, I know what you saw, you really believe.
Yeah.
But your dad is dead. And like, I keep thinking, you know, of like Jeeves or not Jeeves.
Peeves? Peeves?
Peeves and like Sir Nicholas and all them. Like,
So Peeves is a poltergeist, not a ghost.
okay.
He was never alive.
Okay.
But yes, Sir Nick, Moaning Myrtle,
Right.
Bloody
Like,
Baron.
It
Yeah.
almost made me wonder, like, could that be what his Patronus is? Is, you know, his dad coming back to...
His Patronus is his dad, who then creates a stag Patronus.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's a mind F.
Right. But then we find out it's really not James.
It's him.
It's him. And he is the one saving himself. And you know what? This is when defying Hermione, who is back in Hagrid's, you know, hutch. Like,
Hutch.
or house. Hut.
Like a hutch, like a cabinet. Made me laugh. See Hermione and Buckbeak cowering under there.
Right. But they're back there and they're not supposed to have left. And yet, so Harry is like, well, nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. So then
Oh, wait.
and yep, it like clicks and he's like, I am the one that saved us.
So don't get me wrong. Time turner wise, Harry was always clearly supposed to leave Hermione. That's how
Right.
things were supposed to work.
Yep.
But again, he is kind of breaking her trust. He is breaking everything she has told him to go and do this.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you got lucky in this case,
But
but
nobody saw him.
maybe it's a good
Except
thing
for himself.
she didn't tell the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, because his past self didn't see him, so it's okay.
Well, technically his past self did see him,
Saw
but
someone.
he thought it was his dad.
He didn't know in the moment.
Right.
And once he had time to think about it, was like, oh, maybe it was my dad.
Right. But it's pretty cool that he like brought on the stag, like
The full Patronus.
yeah.
It was a stag. And then
Yep.
he goes, prongs. Now we have Moony,
Yep.
Lupin,
Yep.
Wormtail, Peter.
Yep.
I mean, the tail of a rat. Kind
Yeah.
of looks like a worm. Cool. Padfoot is Sirius.
Yep.
He's a doke. And prongs is a
Yeah.
stag. That's what his dad turned into.
Yeah. And
Which is pretty cool.
It's amazing. Yeah. And just like seeing all of that come full circle is just really cool and magical for Harry specifically.
Yeah.
But
I also like how admiring Hermione is. Like, you conjured a Patronus? That's very, very advanced magic. Like, even she's like, damn.
Right. Yeah.
Like, she's impressed, which says a lot.
Right.
which means Lupin was effective.
Well, and see, so Lupin obviously it turns into a werewolf. He goes into the forest, which is about where they're going to be standing, which is why they go to Hagrid's hut. But why couldn't they have picked up Pettigrew? Like
They were just in the wrong spot.
Okay, maybe
Pettigrew ran one way, Lupin ran another.
Yeah,
It's a forest.
true.
Pick a direction, not towards the castle.
If it were me, that's what I would have been doing. I would have been looking for Pettigrew to grab him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And bring him with. But
Also, how are you going to find a rat in the undergrowth of the forest?
true.
Accio rat. And then
Right,
you get 500 of
that's
them. Plus a couple
Yeah.
spiders, because why not?
Yeah. And then they are able to save Sirius with Buckbeak.
With Buckbeak.
Which to me is like one of those, how does no one see them?
It's dark.
It doesn't matter.
It's dark.
Whatever.
That's all I got. And they're high up. I don't know. It's dark.
They fly to a window. They get to the window. They knock on the window. And Sirius
looks
is
so
not
confused.
tied down.
He's locked in an office
It doesn't matter.
in a very high up
Doesn't
classroom
matter.
with no wand.
How is Flitwick's like office supposed to be like? Couldn't he have tried picking locks or like doing all of these things that
I
he could
assumed
have
it was
done in
magically locked.
Okay.
Is my assumption.
Yeah. Well, it's still
I don't know
weird,
why you didn't magically lock the window, but
right?
besides also assuming he probably wouldn't jump from, a 10th story window, but
Well, it's second floor, 13th
was it
window.
only second floor?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still not going to jump
Right.
25 plus feet,
Yeah.
but
But still, like he could have
They should've
probably
locked the
done
window.
that as a dog, though nobody knows he's a dog, technically.
yeah, true.
So like a little bit weird there, but then they get him. He climbs out. They go up to the
in.
tower. The two of them come off a Buckbeak, and Sirius flies off with them.
I like that Sirius takes a moment and stops and asks what happened to Ron.
True.
Like, that's sweet.
Yep.
Showing some of his real character now.
And he keeps trying to like be like, "How can I ever repay you?" or whatever.
Like,
And Harry's
get out
like,
of here.
"Get out! Like,
GTFO.
go away.
Don't die. That's how you repay me. Don't
Right?
die.
How I don't have to go over to the Dursleys again."
I also like this visual kind of as the chapter ends that Black wheeled Buckbeak around facing the open sky. Mm-hmm. It's like, he can go anywhere.
Right. And I'm curious where he goes.
Yeah.
Like it's
Me too. No.
Shut up. I am curious where he goes because like they're both on the run. And we do find out a little bit later, like nobody's gonna find them.
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope. Nobody's going to find him. And nobody will find them.
But so next chapter.
Outpost again.
Woohoo.
Rush back to the hospital. Now the tables have turned and Snape sounds crazy. And there's a new friend/family member in Harry's court. Because he needs more allies.
Right.
And he needs who is basically family alive.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So Harry and Hermione make it back just in time.
Woo.
Like just
To a
barely.
beaming Dumbledore.
But they also hear a lot of things along the way
Uh-huh.
that are very interesting with Snape and just kind of
Fudge.
gloating and he is. But yeah. And Fudge and everything. So they get back and Dumbledore is so excited. Like he's like, okay, I think
back
you
in
guys have gone. No, get in and so I can lock
Go.
it.
Shh.
Right?
Yeah. Like, well, he says quietly, we did it, said Harry. Sirius is gone. And Buckbeak. And then Dumbledore beamed. Well done, I think.
Yeah.
He's playing the game.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
fun.
Yep.
He's playing the game. And then, so they get all in there. Everything's good. And then there's a distant roar of fury echoing from above them.
And then I go, I think that shot was Snape.
I was going to ask, who was that?
I was like, I'm pretty sure that was Snape being pissed. And then I was like, and yep, in capital letters, he is pissed. Part of me doesn't blame him for being upset, though.
No, not at all. But I was like, was it Snape or was it McNair?
Oh, I didn't even think
It's
of
one
it
of
being
those two.
McNair.
It's both of them simultaneously. Rattling the castle walls in anger.
Ooh.
That Snape is losing his reward and McNair doesn't get to kill somebody tonight.
Right. Well, it wouldn't have been him killing anybody. Like
but calling the
were gonna
Dementors.
do it, yeah.
You want to get philosophical here. It wasn't him killing Buckbeak, it was the axe. Like,
Right.
he is the tool. He is the
Yeah.
how
For sure.
the thing of death comes.
Yeah.
Albeit, in fairness, a Dementor's kiss is not death. It's worse than that.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Right.
But yeah, I just love that roar of fury. I was like, ooh, who was that?
I totally thought it was Snape. Like,
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Yeah,
And
I-
sure enough,
I think so too, but
it was.
I was
Sure
like,
enough,
McNair
Snape
could
was
have been
pissed.
shouting too. But
Oh, for sure. I imagine him still being outside coming back
I don't
with
think
the
yeah,
Dementors.
he hasn't quite made it in yet.
Yeah, that's kind of where my brain was because I'm expecting the Dementors and McNair and Dumbledore hitting the door all kind of simultaneously.
Converging. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of why I thought it was Snape.
Agree.
But
I think it's funny to think about.
now Snape sounds like the crazy one.
I know.
And he's so angry.
Hurt-
And he's
oh.
like, it's these two. Harry had to have done something.
Because you can't apparate or disapparate inside the castle.
Right.
This has to have something to do with Potter.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
I mean, in all fairness, it does.
Prove it.
Right. I mean, could you, like, is McGonagall and Dumbledore the only ones that know about the time thing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. In theory, Fudge might.
Okay.
Because she had to write all the letters to the Ministry of Magic
Right.
to get Hermione to use it.
Right.
But he's probably assuming even if she is still using it, he doesn't know if she
Right.
made it through the semester or not, or McGonagall took it back. Like, he doesn't
Yeah.
know.
So he probably doesn't know about
But there's
it.
also that very thin window with Hermione and Harry coming back in. He's probably like, Dumbledore locked the door. Like, no way.
Yeah.
Like, we were right here.
Well, and then that's why Dumbledore's like, Madam Pomfrey, have you seen the kids gone?
No.
Like, no.
Yeah. Even if he does remember that Hermione has it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote, oh, how the tides have turned. On Snape. Fudge barked, you're talking nonsense.
Yeah.
And then later tells him, I'd watch out for him if I were you. He said, fellow seems quite imbalanced. And Dumbledore, nah, he's not imbalanced. He just suffered a severe disappointment.
I mean, in some ways, yep, that's exactly what it was. Like Snape really was disappointed.
Yep.
So,
And
can't
so
blame
the
him.
Dementors are going away.
Yeah,
Back to Azkaban.
I wrote Dementors are out. Maybe dragons are in.
So I also want to know, because he makes the joke about perhaps we should put dragons at the school entrance. And Dumbledore says Hagrid would like that with a smile at Harry and Hermione. Does he know about Norbert?
Oh, for sure. Dumbledore knows everything. I swear it. He knows everything. All
It's
of
like,
it.
In
no matter
fairness,
what.
Hagrid has probably told a lot of people that he wants a dragon, but the fact that he smiles at Harry and Hermione, the two people who walked Norbert out of the castle, like I was
Yeah.
like,
He knows.
do you know her?
Yeah, he knows
knows her?
everything.
It made me laugh.
Well, and not just that, but he also knows how much Hagrid loves animals. So,
Yeah, like I said, Hagrid has for sure said, I would like a dragon someday. But the swift smile at Harry and Hermione, I was like,
yeah. So
oh no.
Ron is finally waking up. And I feel like in the last several books, like we've read all of them, the last at least 2 books, he has literally got so much to catch up on now. And he's been knocked out for almost all of the fun parts.
Yep, most of the fun parts. And
And
in
almost
extreme
all-
agony, the others.
Right.
This night has sucked for Ron.
Well, and it's not just this night, but like in most of the other books, like when they're doing the chessboard, he gets knocked out, and so he doesn't get to go on. Like,
So he misses one thing.
Yeah, and then in the last one, like the different forest stuff that Harry goes to,
He
like
probably would have preferred to miss out on the spiders. But,
right,
you know.
But it's just like there's certain things I feel like he just gets knocked out and he doesn't get to be a part of it, or he's in the hospital for some reason, or like whatever.
Yep.
I'm just like, poor Ron. He doesn't get to have fun.
Somebody's always in the hospital. Second book, it was Hermione.
Yeah,
Chamber of Secrets,
that's
petrified.
true.
So it's always one of them. Down for the count.
Right? But yeah.
Okay.
Are we going to talk about the sad part now?
Snape rats out Lupin.
Okay. Can't blame him,
Nope.
but again,
I said
he's a
not
jerk.
cool, and I get it.
Yeah, totally. I get it, but not cool at the same time.
He wasn't able to get the revenge that he wanted to, so he's taking it out on Lupin.
He accidentally said something to his entire class at breakfast.
I was like, jerk.
Part of me wishes Lupin had waited to put in his resignation until they heard from other parents, from parents.
Mm-hmm. He's done a preemptive resignment.
Because Dumbledore totally would have been able to ease people's mind or like done certain things or whatever.
I disagree.
You think?
Yeah. I'm looking around at the world we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
If one of our kids, all of a sudden it came out, they had a teacher that was, I don't know, let's say trans. Mm-hmm. Even if the principal did their best to say, this is a good teacher, unfortunately in today's age,
there would be a lot of parents being angry.
A lot of angry parents.
Yeah.
Having somebody like that in that community.
Right.
Take your pick. Like it'd be somebody, I can think of a lot of things that parents would come out of the woodwork furious about. And the principal, despite that teacher's record,
right,
principal wouldn't be able to do shit.
Yeah.
So it's right now it's a little too real. I was like, oh, and I had a high school teacher that made a comment to a teacher or to a former student outside of school that the former student went to a different school and where he used to teach, and they butt heads really bad.
Yeah.
And basically she got a group of kids to be constantly bullying him. He was gay. He was a very large gay black man.
Yeah.
Nicest guy ever. And so he switched schools. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get away from this. And he switched to my school. He ran into that student outside of school at lunch, and she went at him again. He said something he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
That he fought back. He's like, you're not my student anymore.
Right.
You're not even at my school anymore.
Right.
And he was fired from my school.
Oof.
For that interaction. And it was too easy because parents came out of the woodwork.
Right.
The fact that she made
a stink
slurs.
Yeah.
Not obviously not racial, but gay slurs at him. All of a sudden, people knew.
Right.
And he got fired from my school. Like the year after I graduated.
Yeah.
I was like, this is screwed up.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like, parents get bent out of shape because
books
it's a good
that are
teacher.
being
like,
read in school and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is too real and too sad. Because he's obviously he taught Harry how to make a full Patronus.
Well, and he's an amazing teacher. Like
and
he's
a decent human being.
Been great.
Unlike Lockhart.
Yeah. Right. It's just another teacher gone. And that's part of what sucks too. And Snape is basically getting his way. And
Snape is getting his revenge.
Yeah.
And the only way he knows how at this point. He can't get it on Black.
Yeah.
Like he had wanted to. Who honestly deserved it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the mentor's kiss, but he deserved the wrath of Snape's revenge.
Right.
But now he can't do it, so he turned on Lupin.
Right.
His best friend.
Yep.
Okay. Like, damn it.
Yeah. And then Dumbledore comes and he's like, and Lupin's like, you know what? I just want out. Like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't need
Dumbledore speaks
fanfare.
soberly.
Yeah.
Like he knows.
Yep. And it sucks.
But it gives Harry the map back.
For sure.
Hell
That's
yeah.
cool. I can't imagine James not wanting his son to find all of the tunnels.
And the cloak. Yeah. He gives the map and the cloak. And I was like, I'm not a teacher anymore. Go play.
Right. Yup.
Which makes him an even better teacher.
Right.
But yeah, he does confirm your father was a stag. That's why we called him Prongs.
Right.
And then I love this little bit that Harry said, you told me Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs would have wanted to lure me out of school and they'd have thought it was funny. And so we would have, said Lupin. Like, Yeah, I wasn't lying to you, just not exactly in the way you interpreted it.
Right, exactly.
I wasn't lying to you. That we thought it damn funny that James's son was sneaking out of school.
Right? Exactly.
I was like, that's awesome.
And it's cool to know that while Harry does have a lot of the same similarities of his dad, that it's almost like his dad came back in his Patronus form.
Yes.
Which I think is cool.
Because that's what, doesn't he say that? I'm trying to make sure you can't see my next little bit of notes. Or is it, hold on. Where is it at? No.
I mean, I know that Dumbledore also talks to him.
Is it Dumbledore that says it? That says you can't, basically your dad did come back through you.
Yes. Yeah,
Dumbledore
that's
that
Dumbledore that says
okay,
that.
I haven't gone far enough. Prongs rode again last night.
Yep.
Yeah. You found him inside of yourself.
And it's kind of like Dumbledore already knew that he was a stag.
Well, he knew what his Patronus was.
Okay.
So he was both an and Magus. There we go.
Yeah.
But Dumbledore didn't necessarily know that part, but he
Right.
knew his Patronus was a stag.
Okay.
So it just happens to be the same. Does make me wonder if Pettigrew's was a rat, and if Sirius's is a dog. If their Patronus all matches what they turned
are.
into. I don't know.
Oh.
That's
Maybe
kinda cool.
that's how they would have become the anime guy.
Sounds like a great series.
Right?
HBO, do better.
Right?
This is the series we want.
Right.
It's the Marauders, not a remake of the movies.
Right.
Anyway, I'm angry about that.
So Dumbledore makes things kind of plain, but also confusing for Harry. And is like, here's the information I have. Now you take it and decide on your own course of action. And I'm like, I'm a little confused, but I totally also understand.
It's also interesting how Dumbledore points out that you have Pettigrew in your debt now.
Right.
You saved his life. Like he owes you.
But Harry's like, I don't want to be strung up to him. I don't want a bond.
Like,
No.
Don't want that.
Heck
Yeah.
no.
It's an interesting point that like owing your life to somebody, because we've already seen that with Sirius.
Yeah. Well,
With Snape. Yeah.
Yep.
Sirius, Snape, and James. Yeah.
Yep.
Like we've already kind of seen that
Yes.
Hagrid, Jesus, I will get names right eventually. That Snape feels like he owes Harry this debt because he never repaid his father.
Right.
And so now we've seen how strong that is. So
Right.
now it's like, ooh, now we have a new
one.
next gen version of that.
Right.
And it's like, that's interesting.
Right. Well, and like in all reality, like why wouldn't Ron have kind of a bond with Pettigrew, because he's kept him alive for 12 years
Kill him sleep in his bed.
and fed him food.
Yeah, that's not so much as saving somebody's life. Like
Okay.
like Lupin and Sirius were ready to kill him.
True.
And Harry stepped in.
Yeah.
Like he stepped between the wands
Right.
and Black.
Well, and the fact that Dumbledore also tells Harry, like, your dad would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in
You're more
no
like your
doubt
dad.
does Dumbledore believe his dad would have done the same thing.
No.
And so now my next question is like, where's Lupin going? Is he going to go join up with Sirius? Or is he going to, like, where is he going? He was basically starved to death before he got to Hogwarts, and now,
You get some freedom.
right? I guess, but
You get to go on a run
I guess.
with Buckbeak.
I'm just like, okay. But we also do find out that Lupin never ate anything that night that he turned into a werewolf.
Oh, yeah. He didn't hurt anybody.
So he didn't hurt anybody. Mm-hmm. And so part of me wondered if he had found Pettigrew and eaten him.
That would have been sweet.
Right?
Sweet taste of victory.
Right? But that obviously didn't happen. So he didn't eat anybody. He didn't hurt anybody, but he doesn't want it to happen
Sheer
again.
dumb luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that was too close.
But
He takes a lot of guilt.
yeah. So
Hermione was right about the firebolt. Kind of.
I mean, so we're not quite there.
Oh, come on.
Because like Harry has to go back to the Dursleys.
Yep.
Like why? Gross.
Yep.
I even wrote
Move
gross.
on.
Is Ron gonna keep? Okay. So then we get an owl outside of the window, and he brings a note from Sirius,
And
which
says,
I think is so cool.
"Keep
that
the owl."
Sirius was able to give him the owl or get the owl there. But he also is like, here's a couple of things that I wanted to tell you, like blah, 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 blah. And then P.S., the owl can be Ron's. And
My bad about the rat.
right? And I did send you the firebolt. So Hermione was right. However,
He didn't do anything to it.
Ron was also right. It wasn't cursed. So
He was right about who it came from.
but then I was like, before we even found out about the fireball or whatever, and Ron is holding the owl, I'm like, is Ron gonna keep the owl?
Oh, yes.
Because I think that's super
It's
adorable.
so cute.
Yeah. And
Poor
then
Earl needs to retire. Errol needs to retire.
right. So yeah. So they get to keep the owl.
And Crookshanks approves of the owl,
Yes.
which is just cute.
It is.
It's also a nice like wrap up symbol of Harry and Ron repairing Ron and Hermione. Oh my God, my brain with names right now. Ron and Hermione repairing their relationship,
Right.
and rebuilding their trust.
Yep, for sure.
Is Crookshanks kind of doing that? It's kind of like a symbolism of the two of them coming back together, which is cute.
I'm hoping that the owl grows though, because
I don't know. I kind of want to stay the golf ball size.
It sound like he couldn't carry much. So a lot like Earl, but
Just in a different way. Just in a little too much energy kind of way.
And for as much, so I do right here, I was like, for as much hatred as the Dursleys have for Harry, they at least still pick him up from the train station and drop him off most of the time.
When was the last time they dropped him off at the train station?
Last year,
Nope.
because of the car.
First year's the only year they dropped him off.
Really?
And they drove away laughing. Yeah.
That's true.
Because he ran away in this book, and in the second book he was barred and the Weasleys bust him out. Because they were not going to let him go back.
Oh, yep, that's right. Okay. But they still pick him up. Mm-hmm. So far they've picked him up every year.
Why?
Well, that is curious. Like, why? Why do that?
I'm going to keep toying with you. You have a few more books till you find out.
So, but the other part is now Harry's got ammunition. He has a murderer godfather on his side that wants to hear about his happiness.
Yes, I love that so much. And grinning broadly at the look of horror on Uncle Vernon's face.
Yep. I was like, okay. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So my last question to end this book is what's going to happen now that Pettigrew has escaped and Voldemort's starting to grow his power again? Like,
dun, dun, dun.
Who's going to be on the side of Voldemort? I don't think Snape's going. As much as he doesn't like Harry and he is a little evil man, I don't think he's evil enough to be Voldemort's helper.
Sidekick.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, what's going to happen? Do we get to find out in the next book? Or does Voldemort actually live throughout all of them?
Well, I'm not telling you that.
Dang it.
I will tell you the question you just asked is explicitly answered in the next book. Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So you don't have to wait too long.
Good.
Except for we're putting a book in the middle now.
Except now we've got to pause. So
yeah,
we're pausing.
Did you think back to any of the foreshadowing in this one and go, gosh, dang it?
Like foreshadowing.
Like Scabbers missing a toe and Pettigrew missing a finger.
I never noticed.
Kind of a stretch.
Yeah, I never really noticed those two things, or even that Scabbers had missing a toe until Sirius talks about it.
And then
from the picture,
Lupin in this whole book acts like Ginny in book 2. That he's always peakish and not feeling so good and all this.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
he's also a werewolf who's trying to not have his
enjoyed.
Yeah.
Going back a little bit. Let's go back to some of Trelawney's predictions.
Oh, Trelawney. That's right. He asked Dumbledore about Trelawney's
She's like,
weird voice.
Maybe she made another one.
And this would be number 2. So
that he is tracking. It is her.
What's number 1?
I don't know.
Well, you do too.
But let's go back to her other, not necessarily real predictions, but she says one of our number will leave us forever.
Hermione.
Nope. Well, yeah, Hermione walks out on the classroom and never comes back. Also, Scabbers is in Ron's pocket in class. So when she's talking about someone's going to die and there's a Grimm in the cup and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, maybe we're talking about Pettigrew?
Maybe.
Like,
Yeah. I suppose.
And there's a couple of others that are going to come back later that you can't
But
see.
he talks about it as being, like, she talks about it as more like Harry, but not.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then she does predict, she looks through Harry's cup, and before she gets to Grimm, she talks about an attack. Like, there's going to be a club. Whomping Willow. And then there's Skull. There's danger in your path. Like, duh. End of the book. You kind of see that coming.
Right.
And all of that. Yeah. And then he goes to the Grimm of death and blah, 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 blah. And she takes it a little too far. But,
Right.
like, there's others you can't see that I have numbers written down for when we can come back to those.
Yes.
But, like, everything, like, even though they're not her, like, full predictions,
Yeah.
almost everything she says, actually, I'm going to go on a limb here and say everything she says has a little glint of truth behind it.
Right.
So it's that, okay, you are kind of a seer, but
I mean, yeah, I
Not
guess
right on everything.
there's some truth in some of it, but not in a lot of it. Like, if you ask me, like, it's just not like there's
little, it's one of those that's like, if you squint one eye and kind of turn your head,
Yeah.
you go, I see how you got there. Like, you
I can
didn't
kind of
quite
see the
have
horse
the
in
full
the thing, but
truth.
yeah.
The horse. You didn't quite have the full truth, but what you said wasn't also completely untrue.
Right, for sure.
Like, maybe it was focused at the wrong person, or it was too vague. Like, one of our number will leave us forever.
Right.
Sounds like somebody's dying. So no, Hermione just storms out of class.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Okay.
And Scabbers leaves and Lupin leaves, so
He's not in the room, though, so
that's true.
yeah. But, yeah. Anyway, next week, we get to watch a movie.
Yes.
Woo.
Woohoo.
I'm excited to watch this movie.
Yes. And then don't forget, we are taking a small pause in between book 3 and book 4 after the movie and going to a book that I chose.
Woo.
We're going into There's No Coming Back from This. And
You know how hard it is that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago,
3, yeah.
you handed me a book and it's been sitting on my bedside table and I can't read it?
I know.
Cruel.
Well,
Cruel.
and I still have to like go through it and figure out all my stuff too. So, but yeah, we're going to do that after the movie. So we will see you next week for the movie. We have a special guest and I'm very excited for this one because he's excited to tell me how cool Hermione is. So
It'll be fun.
yes,
But for the first time, we're also not watching the movie and recording it like back to back.
Right,
So
yep.
you have to hold all of your notes and your comments for 24 hours. Can you
Yeah.
handle it?
Oh, for sure. I actually decided last night that I'm going to make this notebook specifically Harry Potter.
I made the same decision
And
with
so
mine.
I was like, okay.
I need a new one.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm going to need another book. Like,
Yep.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
No, I
For
had the
other
same
books.
thought that I was like, I need a different color, different
Yeah.
notebook
yeah.
to keep things straight.
Right.
I lost my brain.
But anyways, we will see you next week for the movie.
Woo.
And have a great week, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you later. Thanks for joining us for this episode. If you had fun, please follow, download, and review this podcast on your preferred listening platform.
If you're ready for the next chapter, join the spoiler-free conversation on our Facebook group. Search You Haven't Read What? The podcast.
Or on Instagram and YouTube for exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content. Have a great week.
And we'll catch you on the next page.